Recording is on.
Hello, everyone. This is Wallet Scrutiny call number, I forgot the number. Was it 8 or 9? Mo?
9.
9? Okay. Welcome all. Great to have you. We have a couple topics to discuss. Two of them from last time, some smaller design task, which was one thing you see behind me here, about adding categories into the supply chain wallet page. And the other one was a structured feedback for submitting expert opinions. And then Card Flautist, our AKA the copy guy, also had a couple of ideas for copy. I think if you don't want to share it yet, that's totally fine. If you want to, also cool. And then anything else?
I think the best thing to do with that might be, I mean, we can share it in a Google Doc, but we could also just like drop it into the Figma file, like based on which ones we like, because it always helps sell it. Like, you know, if you show the car driving down the road, not the car sitting in a garage.
Yeah, see it, show rather than tell.
From my end, I've pretty much wrapped up the usability tests. I'm really excited to show you guys a little bit of the results, a little bit of the impressions that people have from the website. So I'd love to share a little bit about that at some point in the call as well. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome, cool. All right, anything else you'd like to chat about? Cool. Or all right, so I'll go in the categories. To be honest, I didn't really do much there. I just cleaned up the styling a little bit because I feel like it's fairly self-explanatory. This suggestion by Mo here, I think it's a good one. Although after looking at it, I feel like it's the page starting to feel a bit like the left and right. It just feels a bit messy.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Now adding this in, I think it was a little bit cleaner before, where we had this line guiding you down the. But otherwise, I really don't have. I looked at it and I don't have a ton to add to this one. So I don't know. Maybe this is something where we just need to get feedback on.
Yeah, probably. Oh, I should be making notes. Sorry. Okay.
Would it be good to vary it more by color, any chance? Just to break up the monotony of a black headline, black subhead, black icon, black title. Like maybe it's a bit too much.
Yeah. I mean, so far we've basically, I've tried not to touch anything that's related to the brand logo, brand colors, anything else. Basically, just use what's there, which in our case is pretty much the green, which is used for links, and otherwise stay super neutral.
Okay.
It could help. It still, I don't know. It still feels like there's some hierarchy problem or something in there.
I have an idea, but I'm not sure if it's the best idea. I'm just going to throw it out there. You can have things unfold or unwrap as like drop-down kind of thing, which will make the page like, I think 1/3 might be an option to possibly kind of wrap those 3 in under heading number 1, wrap in under heading number 2, but then but then maybe some way after it's wrapped in, kind of visually showing them what they're going to see if they drop down. I don't know. It's I don't know if it's a good suggestion. I don't know how it would look. It would be.
Yeah, it's it's a visual hierarchy problem, a layout type of problem. It might just require, sometimes you just need to tweak font sizes, and that will just do it. We might also just beef everything up a little bit, make it bigger, so it's not like they're just these little snippets all over the place, but more like they're coherent.
Why not have like cards, like developer card, source code card application, so they can also like on a wider screen line up horizontally and on
That's not a bad suggestion from Leo. So kind of rectangle cards,
Mhm.
and then you could have developer, and then underneath it you could have website and Twitter.
A little bit more like these down here.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll do you, but generally, is everyone, have you had more thoughts about whether you like this concept of the subcategories or not? I think last time there was a little bit of hesitation about whether this really does anything for us.
I guess just with the how it works section, I feel like there's just some things that could go in either the how it's made or how it works.
Yeah.
Like privacy might be more just how it's set up and how, but that's kind of a small thing. I do think it makes it simpler if there's categories.
Mm-hmm.
Just a matter of putting them in the right spot.
Yeah. So would you put custody underneath how it's made, or which one would you put? Would you put privacy? How would you kind of move those two?
I don't know. I guess I'd defer to Leo.
The how it works. You mean you would put those two items into the others? So I think privacy and custody is something that's a property of the product. It has nothing to do with how it's made. I think it's more something on your device. Are the bitcoins on your device, or are they in the cloud? Are they there? And the privacy, of course, it's also an aspect of how the wallet works, and not of how it was made. I mean, it was made to be self-custodial or not, but that's more. That's not the process. It's like the fundamental property of the product, and maybe it would fit on your device if you want to push it.
That makes sense. Scrap my comment. I misunderstood before.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, also feel free to just leave comments in there on Figma if you have anything else. I'll mostly try to look into the layout issues so it doesn't feel so scattered.
It does feel like the eye is sort of pulled all the way to the left, and then it's pulled all the way to the right because of the, yeah.
Yeah, the previous one, there's also a lot going on, but you kind of get this guide on the left. Yeah. Yeah, that's always a trick with information design.
Yeah.
Very, very small stuff always makes a big difference. Okay, expert opinions. So here's... So I looked into a couple of things here. So here we have a mock-up, and let me make sure I also share the link. So this is, of course, much bigger than just an input field. So the previous version was this input field here. And then the version on the right shows, gives me a few options. It asks me to rate by privacy, loss prevention, and theft prevention. These were, I think I grabbed them from our Twitter DM friend who gave that feedback. And so what this does, instead of an empty input field where I'll write, this sucks, or I love it, this focuses me on very specific topics. It's very clear. This is what I'm supposed to respond to. And then the input field at the bottom really becomes, it's very obviously just an extra thing, and I'm mentally already primed for my task here. It takes more, I guess, effort to just ignore the options at the top and just say I love it or I hate it, right? And then I looked at different options of rating stuff on scales like 1 to 5, where like it's good or bad, or on the left you might have very private. The other one it's like not very private, whatever that means. It's like, it's a weird term, and you kind of have to pick 1 to 5 or so. But it all felt, it's just a bit messy. So I just went for something very simple where it asks you a question: does this application actually help you and support you and do everything it can to prevent theft? And then, yep, it does, or somewhat, or no. And we could choose whether we want the icons at the bottom also. So let's say I click yes, that the green thing would show up. But I just try to keep it very simple because it's already, feel like it's already complex enough, the form as is. So that's why I ended up on, and I had some messy in between designs that I messed with and then deleted because it just didn't work.
What are your initial impressions, Leo and Tanner?
I mean, ideally, people would also back up their opinion or their evaluation. Like, I gave privacy a no because of this and this and this. They leak my addresses to their servers or something.
Yeah, I like this. I think it makes sense to break it up into these dimensions. I wonder if the overall sentiment at the bottom would be redundant at all, and if we just, based on the answers to the 3 categories, we can just roll up a sentiment. But I could go either way on that.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I know how it is with, like, then it becomes almost like a numbers game, whereas I'd rather have people like giving answers to things that are a little bit more explicit, and then writing out their reasons instead of just good, bad, okay. Like, if you've ever like read like movie critics on or literary critics on like the art of criticism, they really hate having to assign just like thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. They'd rather speak to at length, and it does the person going to see the movie or read the book more of a service if they're able to give explanations for why they feel the way they do.
I'll let Leo go first on his impressions.
I like the suggestions here. I just corrected it to make it negative to positive in the overall sentiment too. But there is room for. I mean, I wanted to explore the more structured feedback because there might come more depth to it later. And yes, if some people don't like these scales, and I understand that, but it helps to aggregate the feedback. So we can rank stuff by the structured feedback, but we cannot rank it by the free text feedback. But the free text feedback is what we would love everybody to read, but we know that nobody will read it. So it's helpful to substantiate the opinions. And so if one expert wants to convince the other expert to maybe change their structured feedback, then it helps to have those explanations, free text explanations. But apart from the other experts or very interested users, most people will not read all those long text explanations. So the structured feedbacks, I think, are really important for a quick feedback for the user to see, okay, this one is not private, this one is private, because 20 experts on average agreed this one is not private. So but we could get more into detail there, like for example, privacy. With privacy, some say, okay, it's private because it's not leaking the information to the provider's server, but it's leaking the information to random full nodes and different ones every time. So that's another kind of not so private, And so private towards whom, and in which position do you have to be to break the privacy promises of this product? Loss prevention. I mean, you can go into against state actors, against whom. Yeah, so you can get always into more details about these 3 questions there, but it's a start, and I don't know if we need the overall sentiment, if we make the or if we make these 3 questions the mandatory ones. But yeah, I like the design. I like the idea of priming the user to write something about those topics and not about colors of the app and the customizability, if that's not the focus of the website. Yeah.
Yeah, it's how do you use how do you go through services like IMDb or Amazon or so? Because they also, there's always the shortcut, how many stars out of 5? 3.5, 4.5, and then the little number next to it, 2 ratings, 2,000 ratings. Those say a certain amount, and that's for the initial skimming. And then they have these, and on Amazon at least, they have these reviews, which they split up by language, but also most helpful, most critical, most positive, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if Amazon has it or not, but this thing where, was this review helpful or was it not helpful? And each of those serves kind of a different purpose. And then only after you've kind of made it through these top levels do you go through and then actually read some of those reviews. It's like a narrowing in from like super like numeric data into the more qualitative reviews.
For me, because you asked, when I go to IMDb, I love IMDb, and I see, okay, it has a 5-star rating, I completely dismiss the movie. And sometimes if it's really the genre I like, then I might go with some 7-star rating movie and I'll still watch it. But the numeric value for me is really important. And I might sometimes, because of some personal recommendation, watch some movie that has really a low rating. But then I already knew I want to see the movie, and then I might look into the reviews. Why is it so bad? And of course, there is some niche flavor stuff that might not appeal to the broad masses and get a poor rating. But in general, when I just want to see an action movie, yeah, if it's 5-star rating, no way I'm gonna watch it. But else, I always go for the low star ratings to see why would I not want to see the movie, and or anything. The 5-star ratings I almost never read. Like maybe after seeing the movie to see some further interpretation of the movie or something to add to the experience of the movie, but not for my decision to view or not the movie. And in any rating system, if I want to take a decision on if it's good or not, I always look at the critics, and I always Google if I want to know if a company is okay, trustworthy. I search for the company name scammers or company name worst experience, and to find where the feedback is even. And the positive opinions are, like, if somebody gives top ratings on all the categories, I would even allow to not give text. Because,
I'm
from
a usability perspective. If I put myself in the user's shoes, in general, when you're on a website and someone's asking you to give their review, you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's going to take some time. But what this design does is it allows someone to leave their opinion really fast. It's like click, click, and click. If you want to write something at the bottom, you're welcome to. Otherwise, click post. So I think this appeals to getting as many of these expert opinions on the website as possible. I really like the simplicity of the design. There's just 3 options. Don't give people too many options, otherwise they can't choose. And then with choosing the overall sentiment, I'm kind of neutral on that, because I think maybe if Noster could auto-generate final review amount, like 70%, 80%, after people click, then they don't have to make the decision, the overall sentiment themselves. I don't know if that's possible on the back end of things, but
It's not a back end thing. It's if you care about security, then the privacy would not weigh in on the average. But you could say, okay, we have loss and theft prevention, and we take those two numbers, and that's the overall sentiment that is relevant to world scrutiny. And privacy is obviously something that many people ask for, and it is kind of also security relevant.
Yeah.
Because it makes you a target if people know where the coins are. But the overall sentiment I would remove.
Yeah.
And it would not subtract from the numeric sorting and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about having one input field per?
Yeah.
Also interesting.
And it only shows up if once you actually click something. So let's say this one, I clicked. I'm just going to make it ugly. And like these other ones, it doesn't show up because I didn't click anything.
Yep.
That might make it less imposing, which I like.
One input field?
The user on Twitter who direct messaged us, he suggested to make it mandatory to rate on all those 3 dimensions, which I think has a point. And of course, I would leave a last way to add general observations to the product. So I don't know if the overall sentiment is required for that. So like maybe it's good for privacy, good for loss prevention, and good for theft prevention because it doesn't work at all at generating a Bitcoin key. And so you might want to leave that point in free text input. Yeah, I don't know. It might be trollish to do so, but maybe there is other important stuff that doesn't fit into these categories that the narrator wants to comment on. So maybe a 4th field would be also important.
It's not a bad idea. That's a good point that Leo says. If someone wants to add something that's not in these categories. Yeah.
Did I just hear a cat?
Or a door.
Damn, I thought a cat was going to get on this call, and I got really excited.
I can offer a dragon.
That is not the same.
Okay. I thought it was cool.
I mean, if it was a full-size dragon, I'd be with you, but that is a hatchling.
So something like this would work with, you think, with some detail adjustments, like the copy maybe.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
Yeah,
I
don't know if we
like
need.
the direction this is going.
Now I feel like 2 fields is a little bit much.
That's what I was going to say.
Kind of remove one and just keep it with the
Maybe it is just 3 buttons and then field at the end for whatever you want to add.
Yeah.
I think that might be right. Yeah.
This one feels less less work. Like if I'm looking at it, like I need to fill it in, it feels like I have to do less work to fill it in.
Having 3 or 4 is like asking an awful lot of the average person.
Yeah.
I feel like anything they feel that a long form comment is necessary for is probably going to cross these categories anyway, or be something else about the wallet. So I think just one field makes sense.
What are your thoughts, Christoph?
I was just thinking if there should be an alternative should be two ways to leave a review. One is just some random emoji combination for people who just want to smash some buttons, and the second one is for the more serious people who have opinions and perspectives and experiences they want to share.
That might, this is not even, it's really relevant what you just said, because Jakub was doing some A/B testing on a feature in Get Albi, and he shared the link with a bunch of us so we could give our initial impressions. And there the voting was done with emojis, but that's Get Albi, and it had this really fun kind of adventurous feel, like I choose the emoji. But I'm just wondering if that's it feels fun when you're using an emoji to vote. He also used all sorts of stuff. He used all sorts of emojis. Like, it was very fun to vote. But then I'm just wondering if that's going to match the persona that is voting here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
I don't think it could hurt. Maybe even make them like security focused emojis, like a lock or shield or something.
That's not a bad one. So like have like a couple emojis next to each other, and then you can select like 5 out of 10 or something like that, and they can be like these.
Okay, how about we do this? How about we use this theory? We use the 6 basic emotions: anger, disgust, fear, joy, sadness, and surprise. And then we allow people to select multiple, well, this is not high resolution enough, to create much more complex, express much more complex emotions based on.
I think we're getting way too complicated.
What? This is very simple, just plus and minus and equals. Just kidding.
Yeah. I would also just say personally, like, I don't know, I don't love the emojis idea.
Yeah.
Just I feel like it's been done to death everywhere else, and like we don't. And this is like a fairly serious website.
Exactly.
That's about you like not losing all your shit to somebody who let out a fucked up wallet.
Yeah. I think it suits Get Albi because it has that really fun vibe. They're voting on a YouTube video. Yeah. They're gonna pay some sats. But this is the users coming here to make a serious decision about where they're going to put their Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm definitely agreeing with you on that. Yeah. If everyone is ready, I'm very happy to start sharing my research. But just tell me when you're ready, because I'm really keen.
Bring it. Like I said, I'm talking about emoji. I have nothing else useful to add to this.
Emojis and facial expressions. Okay, so before I share my screen, I just want to share that this was a really interesting exercise, and everything that I'm going to share is not my opinion. It's really not my opinion. I'm including a lot of direct quotes from people who visited the website. So I'm standing here as Switzerland, completely neutral. I'm just presenting the impressions, and I'm linking them to different parts of the website. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. And I think, I'm not sure if, is that visible?
Yes.
Cool. I won't make it too much bigger, but I decided to kind of create a bit of a template as well, which I'll include in the UX research toolkit, because I know other UX researchers really struggle with putting case studies together. So at some point this will be added in, depending on if people like it. So I did a little bit of an introduction that Wallet Scrutiny is a website that provides security reviews on wallets. We started a collaboration. I described the problem. I'm not sure if the problem statement is correct. I said in the Bitcoin ecosystem, there's no website that focuses only on the security reviews of wallets. Users are generally going to search on YouTube or forums to make the decisions, and Wallet Scrutiny solves this problem. I spoke about the research. We want to research, create a strategy, and discover their needs, their thought processes that they use to make a decision about a wallet. And here, a little bit of context. We ideated what would we like to know. We decided we wanted to conduct usability tests. We conducted 5 moderated usability tests. Moderated means that Someone was actually present during all of the tests, besides one, and users were given a specific task to perform. So they were asked to search for the review of the wallet that they were currently using the website. The people, so this is a summary of all 5 people. They had an average of 1 to 7 years that they'd spent in Bitcoin. The most common wallets were MUN, Blue, Cash App, Electrum, Ledger, Sparrow, Blockstream, and the people were usually from Africa or Asia. And every single person was very interested in the security of their wallet. It was really important to them, and everyone had done some sort of research before deciding on their wallet. So yeah, I will jump into the homepage. These little colors are meant to be as simple as possible. So this is just a general observation from me. These are direct comments from the users, like as in direct quotes from them. And then this one is for Christoph and the rest of us to figure out is how can we come up with a solution and fix that. So improve the usability. So initial impressions. I'll start with my initial observation. Users were confused as to why wallet security is important to them. This could not be identified by looking at the full text. So that was my general observation. This is a direct quote from someone, is the green one. They said their first impression is that it is a generic wallet security website. Someone else said, okay, my first impression of this was whether I can really trust it, because I want to know, like, how do they monetize this? And then someone else said, okay, the rotating donate icon is kind of distracting to me. They kind of mentioned that 4 times when they just landed on the homepage. And then someone said, I still don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Is this a download? So they thought that this had something to do with downloading something on the website. So those were just the initial impressions. And then I've created some how can we questions here is, how can we educate users as to why wallet security, specifically reproducibility, is important when selecting a wallet? And how can we create more trust on the homepage of the website? And then that donate icon is totally up for you guys to discuss, because one user said they've never seen such an animation before on a homepage of a website, so they were a bit confused. So yeah, I'll just allow you guys to dive into a discussion around these ones, and I will leave my screen open. So
personally, it's weird that we got that much feedback on the donate button, because I actually kind of like the donate button. I thought it was very friendly for being a donate button, as it just swings back and forth like like a pendulum or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not so gaudy or loud. If it was just if we had like fireworks graphics behind it, I'd probably agree. But since it's just just swinging in the wind, I don't know, man. It feels like a thing people are gonna complain about that they don't actually care about.
Yeah.
I think just the fact that it's animated, the only thing that's animated on the page might be why it's just draws attention to it, and then that's what they see.
I got this criticism a lot. So many people said, "Oh yeah, why does it scream donate at me?" And my response or my sentiment always was like, "Hey, okay, if this little wiggling really annoys you, then you wouldn't have donated in 100 years." And now that the 2 biggest donations were like 99% of all the donations, and I think those were from serious donors that don't donate because there's a wiggly donate button, I very much am in favor of putting the donate option down into the footer without any wiggling, whatever. Yeah. So maybe not even call it donate, like help, something like
Support.
Help. And then another click to, okay, if you really want to donate, here's the donate page. Because it's just irrelevant amounts that come from those drive-by donators.
Drive-by donators.
Yeah, I mean the other approach is what you see with the Guardian or Wikipedia or so, where they have they insert into the page at specific times a fairly large amount of text that says, "Hey, while you're here, we put a lot of effort into doing this and that. We pay for this and that, and for you, you get this quality content and blah blah blah. We'd love to get your support, this and this." And it's fairly long. It's a lot of text, but it can be well written.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if something like this, kind of a personal appeal, would be more effective than just a little dangly button somewhere.
I think I have an idea how that might read.
Mm-hmm. I'll make a note here, maybe just add a bit more personal appeal to the donating function. A bit of text.
Yeah, have you
donate
encountered
page-
these types of things before?
Sorry, the donate page, of course, has some longer text, but
Mhm.
it is quite outdated, and it should probably mention the grants, the grants plural, and it's not really laid out or something. But I doubt that many people even get to that donate page, and I don't like the aggressive pop-ups that those Wall Street Journal and stuff do, because oftentimes when you see this pop-up and it pops over the whole page, it feels like a paywall, and it's like, oh well, do I have to read this to get to my content? Where can I click it away? And it's quite disturbing, and it's certainly much more disturbing than a discrete wiggling donate button. So those people that complain about the donate button, they will certainly complain about a big popover. And I don't know if more people would donate. I mean, we could try that out.
Yeah.
But I have little hope that it would significantly boost the contributions. And I have more hope for getting donations through the expert opinions, like, do you want to vote up some expert opinions and throw some sets at this expert opinion, something like that, where people get direct value or perceived value from donating to the project, than this way where they only support the project and don't get even mentioned because it's all anonymous except for the grants.
Yeah, and I think this question here, how can we educate users as to why wallet scrutiny security is important? I think that when Carpfluous is ready to share his copy, I think that really does a good job of answering this question here.
Yeah. I think I don't know, Christoph. You can really just go ahead and okay. Well, never mind. We're not in his Figma, but you can just go ahead and drop some of those in, and we can like take them for a test drive if we want.
Yeah, I think it really does a good job, because that was one of the biggest. We can. I'd love for you to share that after this, because I only have one more slide and then I'm done pretty much. And the next one is this one here, is the search function. So when I gave the task to the person that was testing, and I said, hey, let's go ahead and search for your wallet, and let's see how secure it is. Every single person went to the search bar. That was the most natural reaction of all 5 people. So it seems that this search bar was really was the most commonly used. In fact, it was the only used option when people were searching. It was a really strong call to action. And then this is a direct quote. Okay, let's try MUN. Okay, so this one there's 2 of them. One is Lightning and one is the default. I kind of expected this to be 1. So this person their feedback was they thought that they expected this to be 1 review with both together. I get that that's from the Apple Store and that's from the Google Store. And then the second comment was, I assume from the icon, sorry, this is not written well. At first, it seemed confusing that this is Android, and then this is Apple. So we have the icons there, but there was initially some confusion that one was Android and one was Apple. So I just added in here, how can we make the search bar more appealing as a search method on the homepage of the website? And how can we avoid confusion amongst the two versions of the wallet?
Can you explain that third point again? I don't quite get it.
Yeah, this quote, I need to retype it in, but they said it was almost like they said they assume from the icon that one is Android and one's Apple, but that was not super clear to them at the get-go. First glance, it's like, oh, I don't automatically register in my brain that that's Apple and then that's Android.
Okay, so a very subtle difference, just making that a little bit more obvious. Okay.
Making that a little bit more obvious, I think. I think it was just too not so obvious. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I need to wrap up the rest of the screens and the feedback. That's basically, yeah. But yeah, this is just, I decided, I feel like we're kind of slowly moving towards the homepage designs, so I kind of thought it would be good to already share this feedback. There's a lot more feedback. There's probably going to be another 4 slides added to this, which I need to wrap up, and then I'll share it as well. But yeah.
Mo, about the second comment, did the user in the end understand that this was Android and iPhone, or did he think it was Lightning and on-chain? Was it the same user that made the third comment and understood, okay, it was the two different, because Moon happens to have different names on the different platforms and doesn't mention the Lightning on the iPhone. So this is very specific to Moon. The other wallets, they have more consistency in their naming across the platforms. Yeah, but other products, they have completely different feature sets across the different platforms. So of course it has to be different reviews, and often I think we mix stuff that shouldn't even be mixed. But for example, with Mycelium, where I happen to have worked, I know that iPhone version is like 3 years behind the Android version, and it's just not the same feature set.
Yeah. This was a different user, so this was a different person, and this is a completely different person.
So he might have continued to think that those are different aspects of the same product and not have realized it's on different platforms. So both had the same issue there.
Yeah, this part, when they type one name in and then there's 2 options, that was a little bit confusing to them. Why there was a bit of hesitancy that I noticed amongst people, that they were like, oh, which one do I need to choose now? Which one do I need to choose? And then looking at the icons to kind of think, which one do I need to choose? And then, going from there kind of. So yeah, a little bit of hesitancy or uncertainty I noticed with that, at least. So yeah. That's basically it. I mean, the rest of the research I will reveal as I kind of put it together in these slides. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I think the search bar was really a really central point for everyone. That was really where everyone was going, jumping into the search bar. So I just said, how can we make the search bar more appealing, because it seems to be the most used method for people.
I think the platform logo does not belong into the verdict badge. It just should get all to the left, so its importance is more clear. When you have when you search for MU with and not the whole name Moon, then you get many products, and some of them are hardware wallets, some of them are so we have 4 platforms, and we will have more platforms in the future, and you might have we have those groupings because those are the same product supposedly on different platforms. But of course there's often many more options than just 2.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for me. I don't provide, I'm not saying, I just provide observations, and then I ask everyone how we can, come up with solutions to those observations, because I definitely trust that there's enough very good people in the room who know what they're doing. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's it from me. I will stop sharing my.
Recording is on.
Okay.
Boy, that's weird.
That is weird. That is weird. Yeah.
Are you still sharing your screen?
Am I still sharing my screen? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Christoph, do you want to share the? Because I don't know where the Figma doc is for this, and I saw you did a thing with a dog, and I was.
I was just goofing around there.
Okay.
Let me see. So Ken had. There was just a very quick test. Hold on, let me switch over here.
Yeah, this is my first stab at above the fold and below the fold copy for this.
Yeah, so I took one of these earlier, like very early explorations here, just putting the wallets very high up on the page, and then just copy pasted the text in, and that was basically it. So I don't know if you can see it here. Let me know. Is my face in the way? No. And let me also share the link in to this particular frame. So it's really just the top and the bottom copy without any other treatment, really.
Wow, nobody liked security starts with scrutiny, huh?
Didn't I also put that one in?
I don't know. Did you?
Here it is on the second one.
Ah, okay, perfect. All right, cool. That's very much an Apple headline. Like that's definitely like something they would run in the same situation.
Yeah.
No, I liked it.
And they can be combined in different ways. That not everyone is a developer, not everyone has to be. I think that's maybe better further down.
Sure. Yeah. That's a cool thing about I don't know, these types of layouts. Like you can basically just, if you have a batch of headlines like we do, it's a small batch, but whatever, you can just kind of mix and match whatever makes you happy. I think though, if you go to the other page you just showed, I think know your wallet like you built it is kind of that's the gist of the brand or what the product does. Explain, and then the subhead explains that, you know, not everybody needs to be a developer. Everyday users can scrutinize the things that they would ordinarily not be able to. And it's funny because for me, being able to write to this stuff, I am exactly the target market for this because of anybody on the Spiral team, I have the least knowledge of how anything technical works. So for me, like wallet scrutiny has a lot of value, and this is the value I see in it, distilled into a headline and a subhead.
Christoph, you had another design that was a little bit more out there. Have you removed that one?
No, that was just me goofing around. I was like, it's very white right now. Let's just.
Yeah, there we go.
This one, yes.
No.
It's
I
like
mean,
so
I'm not
intense.
saying I agree with I'm not saying I agree with the dog. I mean, you know, but I like the balance here. There's very good contrast going on here with the you know, the background color and it's really, you know,
I think it should be a cat with glasses.
So the reason why it's a dog, I went to Lexica, that mid-journey search engine, and I typed in security. And then for some reason, Lexica has a thing where it shows you primarily women, no matter what you search for. Maybe that's just the stuff, just guy users, and that's what they generate, but it's very difficult to get away from that. And so I looked around and I came across some guard dogs, and I thought like, okay, cool, security dog, sweet, let's just do it.
Two on the nose.
That was it.
It's got to be an intellectual cat.
Yeah.
You know, this, I'm not saying that I agree with the dog, but I'm loving that visual, some visual thing. It touches a bit on the human aspect. It makes it feel a little bit less technical, a bit more approachable. You know, I want that you know, to have that sort of very approachable feel and yeah. So I'm not saying I agree with the dog, but yeah.
I also think "Know Your Wallet Like You Built It" is like less of a security message than some. Wow, that was fucking quick. How'd you do that?
I just went to Lexica, the image search engine.
It's so friendly. It feels so friendly. It's just like, hey, be friends with me and find out how secure your wallet is, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll around in your food and knock stuff off the counter.
I'm a fan of this one.
Yeah, this is closer, but I don't like the jacket that goes with them.
Yeah.
But that's, anyways,
Security.
besides the
Yeah.
point. "Know Your Wallet Like You Built It" is less of a strictly a security headline. It's not like security starts with scrutiny or something like that. So it should be, I think, a little bit more intellectual than like tough guard dogs standing watch. Like, I also think just that doesn't really fit wallet scrutiny too much. Like, it's too aggressive. And
I was just joking
Classes
around,
of
you
that.
guys. It was not intentional.
No, but Christoph, this joking around, I like I know, like, you know, but maybe like building blocks or someone building, know your wallet like you build it. So someone like building a wallet, some abstract kind of thing like that, or a wallet maybe broken up into little puzzle pieces, something a bit more abstract, not so playful. You know, like an image of a wallet broken up into puzzle pieces. Just, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Something a bit playful, a bit take away.
I tell you the truth, I actually kind of think like, because like people say, people, there are, other wallets, or they're like wallet developers, like Blue Wallet is mad at wallet scrutiny all the time. Probably other wallets will say the same thing in the future if they get a bad review, even though the bad review will be their fault. But having like a cute kind of mascot to go with the brand, I think makes it more trustworthy and more like, and like the average user will be like, oh, yeah, I know wallet scrutiny. That's the web, instead of that's the website that does the wallet checks or whatever. That's the website with the cat that does the wallet checks.
Yeah.
And like the internet being the internet, people, any kind of cat probably is going to be a positive. Although this cat looks like kind of an asshole, so I don't know about this cat.
You were not planning to show these designs, Christoph. They're great. They're really great. I love the contrast. I love the playfulness. Maybe just add, maybe we add, keep the search bar somewhere in there at above the fold, and
yeah, that definitely.
Oh,
I would rather have the search bar than the
search
three
bar's at
things.
the top there. Okay. Oh, maybe. Yeah. I like it. Leo, sorry, we're just giving our opinions here, but what do you think?
I don't know if, let me switch off this flickering here. I think the cat in the background is ugly, but some mascot, like I would prefer the dog. I would prefer a dog. I hope we don't come across as a meme coin promoting website if we do. So yeah, no Shiba Inu or something. And yeah, you said something about puzzles or the wallet as a puzzle, or what was that? Like, yeah, I think we could play around with that, but I wouldn't want to make it too much of a meme of the website, or that people associate it too much with that image. I don't know. Looks too. It doesn't look very, or it doesn't feel very serious.
Yeah.
If it's too much the dog.
The wallet.
I might also say that the building block thing might be a little too cliche. Like,
yeah,
if we were saying know your wallet like you built it, we don't want to show Legos. That's like, it's just too.
Yeah. Something a bit playful but still serious. I don't know. I don't know how playful meets serious. Yeah. And what was said as well is like, hey, yeah, it's the website with the cat.
Yeah,
that's too strong again.
Yeah.
I think we do need to kind of rethink the logo and just reduce, all the like what we do into a single kind of icon. I think somewhere I think the magnifying glass is a good kind of translator of everything we do. I don't know any ideas on how to implement it, but I think use of that could be helpful in conjunction with all these other ideas.
I think one issue with the magnifying glass that you're going to bump up against is that it's like the universal icon for a search tool within a website.
Yeah.
What about like I was thinking owl, but I feel like owl is too obvious. Something that just like surprises people a little bit.
I like the element of a little bit of surprise. I do like that because yeah.
And it's also more serious, I guess, than if that's the Leah's concern.
That's also why I was totally loving the dog. I was loving the dog.
I hate the dog.
I know, but I think for me it was the color contrast of that design. The color contrast was really good. The white on the white on the black on the dark blue. Oh, that's so nice.
No, that's too comic booky.
Oh yeah.
You know, why don't you guys go to Lexica and click around a little bit? Because that's what I'm doing here in the background. I just go there, I typed in security owl, and I just picked one. And, you know, you feel free to, because we're over the hour already. It seems like everyone has fun with this. So feel free to just poke around and share a few things, and I'll put them in there if you want.
If you also, Leo, for you, you know, if you see any images or, you know, you collect, some image ideas that you feel really might represent Wallet Scrutiny, like, you know, it'd be great for you to share them with us. So we can hop into Lexica, maybe generate something from that so that it's really in line with what feels good for you.
Yeah, I have a Midjourney subscription. Maybe I play around with that a bit.
Yeah.
Go for it. But in terms of our next step, so I guess this image thing is now a new next step. I'll tweak the layout a little bit more for the wallet page. Then for I don't think there was a lot more to do for the structured opinions. And then it seems like the homepage is kind of the next big thing that we're kicking off, which do we want to just keep it to copy for right now? But because it seems like we're already going into branding, which means should we start this branding thing? Because I think last time we said that doing all of this stuff at once is a bit much, and we just want to wrap one thing up.
Yeah. Can you guys just give me like I don't know, like a sandbox to work with, just so I kind of have a rough idea what the design is, so I don't think I have like 12 headlines, but it's very clear I have 2 headlines to work with, and then maybe 3 sections of body copy or something like that, just so I have like a starting point, and then from there I can figure out what needs to change, which is what I did with these ones, which was just taking what was already there and updating it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have a conversation on that. I don't think we have a clear idea of the homepage. So we have what's currently live, and then like at the very beginning of this project, I was just messing around with some stuff. But I
think the homepage feels like the next task. I definitely agree with Christoph. I don't know how much we want to touch into branding. I know Leo said on the last call that you feel that there's a lot of, you know, things being moved at the moment, so you want to stay away. How are you feeling with regards to that now?
I think I want to have something that we can start implementing. So if we now go into branding without saying, okay, this is like how we really want to have the website, because we are waiting for branding, then we'll never make progress with actually implementing anything. And so Ed said he would help with the implementation of the design proposals, but we need something that we agree on to actually implement this or that way. Yeah. And also, I would also love to start the expert opinion at some point, and I don't know if we wait with the expert opinion for the redesign of the rest of the website, or how do we go about with all those things that we are playing around with here.
So I would try to do it in a way where if we implement the wallet page design first, that any changes to it afterwards are purely cosmetic, and it's like a CSS variable changes, right? And that's it.
Yeah.
Where we do not do any more big layout changes or anything else afterwards.
Copy changes.
I think it might be good if I like maybe on the next call share the UX research about the wallet review page, so that can kind of any feedback that you guys feel is useful from that, you can maybe try to think of how we can solve that in the design part. So I'll have that ready on the next call.
Okay.
Okay, but what about a cat using a microscope? He's just getting in there. He's examining the wallet.
I'm liking the cat. The cat is so cute. Look at the cat. He's just a dude. He's so nice. Hey, go to the website where the cat is and check out the security of your wallet. You know, I know. You know, we don't need to discuss what animals.
I heard purple ostriches are the hot new thing.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking flamingo.
Yeah. Totally.
For no other reason than nobody else would ever go near that for a Bitcoin brand.
Yeah, and you get that strong, bright, friendly color.
Yeah, a little too bright and friendly.
We can even use some tulips, and then the actual tulip at the top is a Bitcoin. You know, I don't know, and I'm just goofing about. I don't know. I'm sure we'll come up with something really nice that also feels aligned with what Leo kind of feels suits, you know, the image.
Okay, so we're kind of gonna try. It seems like we're gonna kick off this branding homepage stuff a little bit further, but we're gonna try to keep that as a separate task that doesn't affect anything else. While we'll try to finalize design specs for the wallet page first, so that can move into implementation, and then maybe expert opinions as a second part. But I remember with expert opinions, Leo, you also said that you have a lot of stuff to figure out on the back end there as well. So that seems like it's a bit of it's not as simple as just changing some HTML, right?
I mean, the expert opinions as such can be integrated quite easily. What I'm a bit struggling with is how do I get it into in front of the Nostr users? So I think to get the conversation going and to get comments on the different subject or different expert opinions, I would probably need to copy the expert opinions into normal social media posts where other people can just comment on what Walt Scrutiny is posting. Like Walt Scrutiny would create a post like expert, reference to that expert's account. So it would render with his current avatar, current name, etc. Had that to say about Blue Wallet, and then the rating translated into a social media post like security, thumbs up, whatever. Yeah, and then the texts that they provided. That would be quite easy to automate. It would be some work, but it could be done, and then we could link that back to the website, or to the Walt Scrutiny website, where we can show the replies from social media on the Walt Scrutiny website.
Yeah, and that's a little bit more of an operational thing rather than implementing the design or the technical functionality of that feature. That's like how you run the wallet scrutiny and how you get the word out and how you get people in. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's quite easy to do, but it's not adding much. I mean, it's adding much feature because I get exposure to the Nostr community, but it's not much additional work compared to doing it in our local database. So yeah, it needs to be implemented, but the aspect it's Nostr isn't really adding much complexity from the implementation side.
Until those wallets starts spamming your relay or something.
Yeah,
we'll see.
That gets some Streisand going. I hope to get relays. Well, long topic, but I hope to get relays into the area of getting paid for what they serve, and spam will not really be an issue. But that's another topic.
All right, I'm going to, go ahead, Christoph.
Just going to say, let's wrap it up. Sounds awesome.
Yep.
Thanks for the conversation. We touched on a lot of different things today.
Yeah.
And,
it was a good call.
I guess I learned something. Put dogs into stuff. Everyone gets excited.
Nope, incorrect. I was
not everyone. Not everyone. Our team is not. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.